Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon to everybody back home. Good evening from Doha. We've just had a spectacular light show, a 20-foot replica, maybe higher, of the World Cup glistening in gold, and plumes of flame shooting up all around it. The national flags of both sides being held up by volunteers out on the field of play, and literally dozens of photographers down below us waiting for the entrance of the two sets of players. And the World Cup holders are out to retain the Jules Rimet trophy. France have started in stirring fashion. That 4-1 win over Australia in their opening game puts them in pole position to qualify. They will go through to the knockouts with a win tonight, but do not underestimate Denmark. The Danes can become the first side to beat France 3 times in a calendar year if they win here. They had a disappointing goalless draw against Tunisia last time out. A step up in quality in front of goal in particular is sorely needed. The two sides are lined up out on the field of play. France to the left of the halfway line as we look at it. To the right, Denmark on what is a very warm, muggy evening here at Stadium 974, made up of shipping containers. Well, rip-roaring renditions of both national anthems. The former Wales striker Dean Saunders is alongside me. Dean and I have been here for several hours and we've been counting down the minutes, Dean, as we look forward to this one. Maybe the biggest game of the group stages so far.
I think so, yeah. I can't wait for the kick-off. I mean, it's just a brilliant setting, a brilliant match of two teams, one blessed with skill and £100 million players, and the other team, Denmark, team spirit, grit, determination, and Christian Eriksen, who can produce magic at any moment. So I think it's an even match. There's not going to be a lot in it, but I can't wait for the kick-off.
Let's take you through the two sides again. Lloris in goal for France, Koundé, Varane, Upamecano and Theo Hernandez the defenders, Tchouaméni and Rabiot in the holding roles, Griezmann, Dembele and Mbappe in support of Olivier Giroud, who is level with Thierry Henry's 51 France goals. One more for Giroud would make him the clear and present all-time top scorer. For Denmark, Schmeichel is the goalkeeper, Andersen, Andreas Christensen and Nelson the defenders, Rasmus Christensen, Højbjerg, Eriksen and Mæhle in midfield, Lindstrom and Damsgaard in support of Andreas Cornelius up front. Well, France are in their regular colours today, those dark blue shirts, white shorts and red socks, and the Danes in their change kit, white shirts, red shorts and white socks. It is one of the most intriguing group games of the whole stages so far. It is the holders against one of the dark horses, many people think, France against Denmark, and it is live on Talk Sport with Argentina against Mexico still to come. There's a camera trained on Christian Eriksen at the lip of the centre circle. A remarkable feat for him even to be playing today, Dean Saunders. It is so wonderful to see him back out on the pitch at a major tournament.
Yeah, I can't believe we can see him playing football. I mean, what happened to him was quite shocking, and for him to be back on a football pitch after the condition he was in is just amazing. And what a player. I mean, he's seen the difference, I said earlier, at Man United. He's just got a football brain that's a step ahead of everybody else. And although they've lost Delaney today, who's the glue that holds everything together, they've got spirit. Good luck to their two centre-backs, left and right today. They've got Mbappe and Dembele coming down either side.
It won't be the easiest game you've ever faced if you're Andreas Christensen, Joachim Andersen or Victor Nelson, but we'll see. Denmark will get us underway, playing from right to left in the first half in their red and white. France, blue, white and red, playing from left to right. It may not be full, but the noise is loud and raucous, and we are off and underway, live on Talk Sport. An early throw for Denmark on that far side of the field, and Rasmus Christensen will go across to take it. About 400-500 Danish supporters away to our right-hand side as Højbjerg collects possession for Denmark. Crossfield ball to the near side in Joachim Mæhle. Remember, France, if they win, will go through to the knockout stages. Denmark have started with just a single point to their name so far. Here is the blonde-haired Victor Nelson, recalled to the side today who's a player who reportedly attracted interest from Wolves and Sevilla over the summer. Nelson, who plays his football in Turkey with Galatasaray, and he strides slowly towards the halfway line. No pressure from the France players on him, so he goes back to the goalkeeper, Kasper Schmeichel. We'll keep you in touch with goals as they go in from the FA Cup second round as well. We've got reporters at key selected matches, and we'll keep an eye on Dean Saunders' son Callum's fortunes, playing for Ashton United today as well. And Dean, I know you're keeping a keen eye on that.
0-0, 33 minutes. Well, I can't believe we're talking about that and we're in the World Cup. France v Denmark, what two different occasions that is, but both equally as important to the fans. I'm just watching the kick-off. Denmark have kept the ball from the kick-off. France, passive, not sprinting. Will give them a chance to fit into the game, but at the moment, passive.
Well, the air is thick with humid heat as Højbjerg brings the ball down midway inside opposition territory. Now Rasmus Christensen, far side the France left and the Danish right, and he wins a throw level with the edge of the 18-yard box, and certainly Denmark looks slightly the brighter in the opening 2 minutes or so. It does remain 0-0. Another bumper day of commentaries that we brought you as part of our wall-to-wall coverage on the network. Earlier, Tunisia 0, Australia 1, also in this group, Group D, and that was followed up by Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0, including a first ever World Cup goal for Robert Lewandowski. And at 7 o'clock we'll bring you commentary of Argentina against Mexico. Surely a must-win for Argentina. Now then, here come Denmark again. Nelson in possession. France have hardly had a kick so far. Nelson forward to Andreas Cornelius, the giant former Cardiff striker who missed a glaring opportunity in their opening group game against Tunisia, which ended 0-0. Lindstrom breaking between the lines away from Tchouameni, and Tchouameni tripping the young Dane, the Frankfurt man, and Denmark have a free kick midway inside France territory, and the French, the World Cup holders, have not got going yet at all. 0-0.
Strange start to the game. Denmark are just being allowed to knock the ball around from side to side. The wing-backs then push on because they're keeping the ball. Dembele and Mbappe playing like full-backs.
Mailer to swing it across, headed away by Olivier Giroud, doing his defensive duties for France, having scored twice in the opening game win over Australia. Both goals typically well taken, and Giroud now 1 goal away from becoming France's all-time leading goal scorer. That is a remarkable accolade when you consider some of the great strikers who have played for France over the years, Dean.
Yeah, amazing. Obviously Benzema's a miss for any team, but strangely enough, the players seem to like Giroud and they want him to do well.
Kylian Mbappe marauding towards the edge of the penalty area, running straight into Højbjerg, who stood tall, said you're not getting past me, and Højbjerg races towards the halfway line, and maybe the Danes can counter. The ball is held up though by Mikkel Damsgaard of Brentford. That's a lovely crossfield ball to Rasmus Christensen, forward to Cornelius, who couldn't quite control. The ball rattled through his legs. Wasn't a good pass by Rasmus Christensen, well overhit, and through it goes to Hugo Lloris, the French goalkeeper and captain, all in yellow, away to our left-hand side. France 0, Denmark 0, live on Talk Sport. Here's the former Wales striker Dean Saunders.
Well, I mean, it is a firm pass he's given him, but if Cornelius takes that in his stride and it ends up in the back of the net, I'm blaming Mbappe. He's just not tracked the fullback. He's just standing up front, hoping that you miss, and he gets the ball on his own and causes havoc.
It has been a rather sluggish start from France, to say the least. Højbjerg centre circle, lots of space for Rasmus Christensen again on that far side, the Danish right, back to the halfway line, and Joachim Andersen of Crystal Palace. Infield it goes to Højbjerg. Lots of pockets of space being found all the time by this Danish team, who have beaten France twice this calendar year, remember, and that is no mean feat. Both those wins came in the Nations League, as Denmark win a throw deep inside opposition territory, quickly taken by Christensen. The flick towards Cornelius with his back to goal, and he goes cross-field with the pass. He aimed it at Joachim Mailer, well intercepted by Ousmane Dembele, tracking back for France, and he can use his pace now to maraud forward up towards the halfway line, skips away from two in white, plays a neat square ball onto Rabiot. Mbappe to his left-hand side, far side of the field, Giroud waiting in the middle, Mbappe square, Dembele, edge of the D, twisting, turning, shooting, it's blocked, and Denmark, Eriksen made the block, and it's Eriksen who will play it to the left-back position, and Mailer should be able to clear, and he does.
First attack for France, you can see they've got dangerous players, but Denmark dealt with it. I mean, what can you say about Mbappe? The first 8 minutes of this game, if we've gone that far, he don't look like he's trying. But I'll be eating my words in a minute, I'm sure. He proves that most weeks.
It's a dangerous game to play, Dean.
He's jogging about, just walking. He's letting Denmark come out. He's playing on the left. Denmark just keep knocking the ball out that side. He's just walking.
Half-time in the Autumn Nations Series. Rugby live on TalkSport 2. Wales 20, Australia 13 is the latest score. TalkSport 2 for more commentary. Make sure you download the TalkSport app. You can swipe between both stations at your leisure. That'll be particularly useful in the final group games here at this World Cup in Qatar. Eriksson playing the ball forward towards Cornelius in the box, and Upamecano just did enough to shrug him aside, the French centre-half, and it trickles through to Lloris. Already Mexican waves in the crowd on the far side of the field. We're watching from the upper tier of the main stand, just to the right of the halfway line. A fantastic bird's eye view, and good to see the crowd. There are lots of French flags, red, blue and white away to the left, and the Danish supporters to the right. Everybody's enjoying themselves.
Yeah, it's a great occasion, isn't it? A great game. I mean, Cornelius there, he looks sharp.
Yep.
But there's the difference between playing in the Danish league when you make a good run, and then when you play against players like Varane and Upamecano. He's just outpaced him into the channel. His pace got him out of trouble.
And it's quite something for Varane to be back in the France side tonight, having not played since the 22nd of October when he picked up that injury against Chelsea for Manchester United and left the field in tears. But he's on the ball now, the France number 4, with the red boots on. Forward to the halfway line, and Rabiot, square pass to Dio Upamecano. And now Theo Hernandez dribbling in field from the far side, the French left, and Mbappe trying to skip away from Rasmus Christensen, who holds firm, slides in, and the ball out of play for a France throw. And I definitely do not envy the task that awaits Rasmus Christensen this afternoon, this evening, Dean.
Well, it's a dilemma. Right now they're in a flat back 5 because France are keeping possession. So the wing backs are getting pinned back. Dembele's going at the left back now.
And Dembele racing forward in field, a square ball to Rabiot, lots of white shirts back behind the ball for Denmark, a high crossfield ball, the floodlights on, the sky dark here, and Mbappe's cross headed away by Andreas Christensen. It was a really dangerous whip ball across the penalty area, over the head of Griezmann, and not far enough to reach the number 9 Giroud.
But that's what you want as a striker. Mbappe's just moved it onto his right foot and crossed it early. Griezmann and Giroud, both movement brilliant in the box, just evaded the both of them.
A familiar chance of Allez les Bleus from the French supporters. Koundé infield to Rabiot. Rabiot facing away from goal, turns and pops a square past the centre circle and Upamecano. The Danes have taken up a very deep defensive position, as Dean was saying early on in the game. It's a flat 5, 4 in front of them, then Cornelius effectively the lone striker when they're not in possession. France allowed to have the ball, but they haven't created anything in the first 9 minutes. It's still goalless. Dembele, long sleeve shirt on, a pass to Griezmann, and France are just trying to up the tempo, it looks like here, Dean.
Yeah, they're trying to snap the passes, and they're probing. One defender doesn't go where he should go, and there it is.
Theo Hernandez has got the wrong side of Christensen. High ball into the far post for Rabiot, back across. Giroud misses his kick. Giroud from 10 yards out, swung and missed completely, and should have done much better.
I think Højbjerg got a toe on it. I think it was Højbjerg or Eriksson just got a toe poke. He was about to score, header back down into the 6-yard box. He pulls his leg back to volley it in, toe poke. Great tackle.
And if there was a touch, it was such a crucial one, as you say, Dean, from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg of Tottenham Hotspur. There's a goal in the FA Cup second round at Fratton Park on TalkSport. Chris Hull.
Portsmouth 3, MK Dons 1, a second Pompey penalty. Soft isn't the word. Colby Bishop goes down and then he gets up and smashes it home from the penalty spot. Portsmouth 3, MK Dons 1.
Rasmus Christensen, edge of the penalty area for Denmark. He rattles it against the heels of Varane, and the ball hits the corner flag and has stayed in play. Would you believe it? Lindstrom back to Christensen. Now it's taken up on the far side. Lindstrom to deliver, and Lloris takes it high on the edge of his 6-yard box. France 0, Denmark 0. 10 minutes gone.
Well, that would have been a fluke goal. They've had an attack, the ball's hit the corner flag, stayed in. They end up Christensen whipping across him. Keeper catches it. But again, Giroud found himself out on the left. Him and Mbappe have swapped round, And he let the full-back run as well, Giroud.
No great sense of energy and dynamism about this France side so far. The France who know that if they win tonight, they'll be through to the knockout stages, and that is a welcome relief for them, given the fact that they have dropped points at regular intervals in World Cup group stages over the years. We'll bring you another second round goal from the FA Cup in just a moment, but here come France with Theo Hernandez, far side, midway into Denmark territory. Denmark looked very well organised early on here. Griezmann with his back to goal, tried to thread it through inside left channel, a reverse ball from Mbappe, cleared up to the halfway line by Rasmus Christensen, quickly fed to Tchouameni by Upamecano. Mbappe's layoff is a poor one. Mbappe, though, fouled and wins a free kick midway inside opposition territory D.
If I'm the France manager, I'm shouting on, lift the tempo, start pressing a bit quicker. If I'm the Denmark manager, I'm shouting at Lundstrom, make sure you run back and help the full-back, because Mbappe's out there and he's a genius. You cannot walk. Do a job for us today.
Griezmann is standing over the ball, a long way from goal, hands on hips. Giroud forward, Rabiot, who scored from a header in the first game, swung in high towards Varane and headed wide. It came off Cornelius and very nearly an own goal. France have themselves a corner away to the right hand side.
Oh, it's a brilliant defensive header from a centre forward. When they go back there, sometimes they don't do the job. They go back there because you tell them to, but he actually tried to get his head on that. It's a great header, otherwise it's a goal.
Was that your experience during your career?
100%. I used to warn them before they went out.
Griezmann will take the corner on the near side of the field. It's France 0, Denmark 0 in the World Cup in the Qatari desert on Talk Sport. Plenty forward in those blue shirts. Swung in high towards the near post. Giroud got the touch, cleared away. It wasn't going in. Had to be stabbed away from goal by Mæhle. Can Denmark counter-attack? No. Upamecano there. Back to Hugo Lloris. 2 goals at Forest Green in the FA Cup. Talk Sport's Dave Rowe.
It's Forest Green 2, Alvechurch 1, the non-league side equalised with a stunning free kick from Jed Abbey, edge of the D, found the top corner, brilliant strike there, but Forest Green now back in front. It's the former Alvechurch man, Josh March, heading home, downward header, beating Jezef in the Alvechurch goal. Forest Green 2, Alvechurch 1.
Barnsley 2, Crewe 0 is the latest score in the second round of the FA Cup, and you are up to date. Now, Denmark have a free kick just shy of halfway. And that flicked header from Giroud that was cleared by Mæhle, and certainly the closest France have come up to this point, D.
Yeah, I think it might have been actually Varane who got the header, and Nielsen's on the line, and it's just a brilliant clearance. But it's so important, set plays at international level. I think it's 65% of international games are decided by a set play, so you can play as well as you like. If you're not organised and you don't want to head it out your box and in their box, you'll get beat anyway.
Rasmus Christensen gives it away straight to Rabiot, who's standing in the France left-back position, and France come away with possession now. And after quite a slow start to this game, France are starting to dominate the ball and seeing more and more possession in this one. Koundé over the halfway line, a 1-2 with Dembélé. Koundé tried to thread it infield to Giroud, but Victor Nelson was there. And now Damsgaard scurrying over halfway, tracked all the way by Griezmann though. France have it back, and here is Varane midway inside his own half of the field. And now Theo Hernandez, lots of space in the left-back position as he charges upfield into Denmark territory. Lays it to the left on the angle at Mbappe, who's hugging that far side touchline. Only Giroud really in the middle. Played back to Tchouameni. Now Theo Hernandez turns away from Lindstrom, and again the Danes have everybody bar Andreas Christensen, the lone striker, Cornelius rather, the lone striker, back behind the ball. Here is Dembélé trying to get beyond Mæhle, heads for the dead ball line. Mæhle holds him up. Dembélé twisting and turning, reaches the dead ball line, swings in the cross. Giroud is there, and Anderson did just enough to put him off. Giroud's header goes wide. Goal kick 0-0.
Well, that's why he's cost 130 million, I think, Dembélé. I mean, it's brilliant skill. He's took Naylor on there, and he's just dropped his shoulder, moved it to the byline, whips a great cross in, and it's just food and drink for Giroud. He's going to stand in that middle of that goal all afternoon. It's a good defensive header as well, just otherwise he scores. But I mean, Damsgaard and Lindstrom today, they've got to sprint back when they lose the ball. If they don't sprint, the two wide players are geniuses.
They are so potent in attack, France, as we saw it before they scored against Australia, and it could and probably should have been more in that opening group game. Argentina against Mexico to come on TalkSport. Tomorrow we're back for more World Cup action. Japan against Costa Rica on TalkSport 2, and then Belgium against Morocco, Croatia against Canada, and Spain against Germany, all live on TalkSport. That's tomorrow from 10 o'clock UK time. The ball is with Upamecano, midway inside his own half, the French defender. Out to the far side, the left, and Teo Hernandez again. The atmosphere a little bit flat in the stands. The Mexican waves have stopped and some of the noise has died down. Again, like an unfortunate feature of many of these games, it's far from full. I can see lots of blue empty seats dotted around this extraordinary stadium, which you can recognise from a mile off. It's basically constructed from lots of old shipping containers.
No wonder the price of containers have gone up. They're all here.
Yeah, absolutely. All in their different multicolours. And Dean and I were having a good walkabout around here before the game. Very warm today, isn't it, Dean, too?
I was looking for my furniture that disappeared when I come back from Galatasaray. It's in a container somewhere. Still haven't found it.
Well, there's lots to get through. Here is Andreas Christensen for Denmark, and all at walking pace this at the moment.
Yeah.
And Nelson looks like he's barely jogging up towards the halfway line. A little quick 1-2 with Christian Eriksen.
Game of chess at the minute, and I've been watching. Obviously Griezmann's trying to get into that number 10 role, so they're trying to keep the back five in touch with Højbjerg and Eriksen, so there's no gap for Griezmann to get in. But what he's doing is clever. Him and Rabiot, they're sort of rotating. Griezmann's going deep and Rabiot's trying to get into that number 10 position, so eventually I think they'll get in there.
Nelson back to Schmeichel, the goalkeeper. Kasper Schmeichel, who made a fine save in that opening group game against Tunisia on a day where Denmark were far from their best. Remember, having reached the semi-finals of Euro 2020. The ball is with Griezmann, lip of the centre circle, back to Varane, shuffles it wide to Koundé, back in field to Varane, midway inside his own half, and now Teo Hernandez towards the halfway line for France. He plays 1-2 with Mbappe. Hernandez drifts infield, racing towards the edge of the box. His pass is behind the run of Giroud, cut out easily by Nelson without any problem at all. And Eriksen, well, he's shaped a counter towards halfway for Denmark, instead goes back to Joachim Mæhle. And this isn't quite the fast and frenetic start that I think many of us were expecting to this game.
If I'm the Danish manager, I'm a bit worried about Damsgaard and Lundstram. I mean, you can't play three up front against France. You can't play 5-2-3. I don't think you can do it. Your two wide players have got to run back and be a bit more, thoughtful towards the fullbacks who they're playing against. But the two of them are struggling to get, when they get forward, they can't get back.
Mæhle's got upfield down the near side. Good sliding tackle from Dembele. Barnsley 3, Crewe 0 in the second round of the FA Cup. The throw taken by Mæhle, infield to Damsgaard. Damsgaard with an early ball. Cornelius back to goal. The angle is very tight. Sets up Mæhle. Infield again towards Damsgaard. Couldn't control it, and Varane came away with possession. And now France can counter-attack. Griezmann is looking for the speed of Mbappe. Incredible pace. He's hauled down by Andreas Christensen, and that will be a yellow card. Electric pace from Mbappe from a standing start. He breezed beyond the three centre halves, and Andreas Christensen, cynically dragged him down. That's a booking, and that pace from Mbappe was a joy to behold, Dean Saunders.
Well, it'll probably go VAR. Christensen's dragged him down because he had to, and then he's held his face as if he's been hurt. But there we go. Griezmann eventually got on the ball. It's an unbelievable pass with the outside of his left foot, and Mbappe has got three centre-backs in front of him, and he gives them all 5-yard start and gets him behind Christensen, who drags him down, realises if he gets away with that, Christensen, he's had a right result because he was in on goal.
It was so cynical, wasn't it, from Andreas Christensen, and yet no VAR check needed. You can see a clip of Peter Schmeichel, Danish legend, watching his son Kasper. Peter Schmeichel, who was a European Championship winner with Denmark in the early 90s. This free kick dead centre for France. Griezmann whips the ball cross-field to the near side, and Dembele, plenty to aim it in the middle. Dembele crosses! Brilliant save by Schmeichel to deny the header of Rabiot. flinging himself to his right-hand side, and Rabiot denied a second World Cup goal in as many games in the group stage. That's the best we've seen so far. 20 and a half minutes gone. Talk Sport, France 0, Denmark 0.
Great cross, Dembele. Same as the other side. Mbappe shifts it on his wrong foot, if you like. Dembele shifts it back on his left foot. In swinger. Rabiot gets across the near post. What a save from Schmeichel there. He's going in the top corner.
Brilliant reflexes from Kasper Schmeichel, who even at the age of 36, we couldn't believe he was 36, could we, Dean, when we were talking about him earlier on?
It's
great agility.
The beard makes him look older. But once again, Damsgaard, you've got to come back and help. Otherwise, Dembele's got a 1v1 all afternoon. The two of them are lightweight for me.
Lindstrom and Damsgaard.
Yeah, two of them.
Lindstrom has lost out, and here goes Mbappe, central position, midway into the Denmark half. Tries to spray it crossfield to the near side, headed away by Mæhle in front of Dembele. Then a foul by Rabiot on Damsgaard, and a free kick to Denmark midway inside their own half of the field. Rabiot with that distinctive ponytail, and Dembele with a glorious in-swinging cross, and Rabiot darted into the near post to meet it with a header. And Schmeichel, well, maybe in the end it was a save that you'd expect him to make, but I tell you what, that header was coming in with real pace actually, and the goalkeeper reacted well.
Well, when you're out there on the pitch, you can't leave it all to the manager. You're out there on the pitch, you realise the danger are the wide players. So how about trying to stop the cross coming in the first place a bit harder? Damsgaard turns his back. They're just not working hard enough in the wide areas, and eventually they'll get a cross on Giroud's head if they carry on.
Ball played forward by Rasmus Christensen, infield towards Højbjerg, then a little touch from Giroud tracking back, and he was caught late. Another yellow card out of the pocket of the referee, this time for Cornelius, and Giroud is down and is hurt here, holding his left leg, and the physio's been called on by the man in the middle, the referee, Simon Marciniak of Poland. It was well, I hate to say this in front of you, Dean Saunders, but it felt like a forwards challenge to me, that one.
Clumsy, but both 6'4", both about 14 stone. I think the referee missed a foul on Højbjerg there. Tchouameni, and then, he's just held his ground, Cornelius. It's not really won't even give a foul.
Giroud being treated. Cambridge 0, Grimsby 1 in the second round of the FA Cup. There's also been a goal at Fratton Park. Chris Hull.
Yeah, Portsmouth 3, MK Dons 2. It's an FA Cup lifeline for MK. The ball pulled back from the left-hand side. There's Mo Isa, 7 yards out, slams it home. Portsmouth 3, MK Dons 2.
Thanks, Chris. Earlier we brought you Kings Lynn Town 0, Stevenage 3 on TalkSport 2. Genuine proof that we will fit in as much live football as is humanly possible, even in the midst of a World Cup. And once the World Cup's done, by the way, mark your calendar for Boxing Day. We have every game live on the network, and on the 27th and the 28th as well. So TalkSport is your go-to destination over the Christmas period. Now Giroud's back up on his feet, limping up to his feet, his blue shirt hanging untucked, and France 0, Denmark 0 is the score. There have been a couple of flashes of quality from France in particular, but no closer other than that header from Rabiot that was well saved by Schmeichel to the goal that would put them in front. And France, remember, need a win to progress to the knockout stages. Forward by Lloris, high up down the middle. Now Andreas Christensen and Joachim Andersen have both let that bounce, and it's Andersen with the long hair with the header back to the goalkeeper, and Andersen will shuffle the ball forward to the right wing back position, and Rasmus Christensen on that far side of the field. No great movement in this Denmark side at the moment. They look well organised, but the problem and all the talk in the Danish media coming into the tournament was, well, do they have a number 9? There's been a rotation policy that Kasper Hjulmand, the coach who's standing down below us in his white polo shirt, has employed, and nobody seems to really have taken that position by the scruff of the neck so far. High ball downfield by Andersen, and Mæhle can't control it. He's taken it out of play, and it's a France goal kick. Dean Saunders.
No, Cornelius looks a bit raw. Looks like he's going to have to use his body strength to score a goal. Varane is a really good player, and he won't get caught sleeping. But you can see why now. They are lacking a centre forward who's going to get on the end of things. But tactically, right now, I'm watching Mbappe. He started on the left. He's now coming and standing on the right side centre-back, Anderson. And then Hernandez, the left-back, is making the width. So he's trying to get himself free. So he gets himself in the centre-forward position at times, and then he gets himself out on the wide wing. But he knows what he's doing. He's obviously got a tremendous brain as well.
Very quiet in the stands at the moment as Koundé gives the ball away. It was initially a poor pass out of his own goal from Hugo Lloris. The ball back to the halfway line now, and Joachim Andersen. Denmark in the white shirts and red shorts and white socks tonight. Andersen wearing number 2 up to the halfway line. It's still goalless, and Andreas Christensen in possession just shy of halfway. I tell you what, if he'd been any closer to goal, Mbappe, when Andreas Christensen brought him down, it might have been more than a yellow card. He's a lucky boy potentially. Ball has hit the referee. Denmark will get it back. And next Saturday, by the way, we're talking about our FA Cup coverage. TalkSport 2 is your home of the EFL, and the return of the Championship next Saturday lunchtime. Sunderland against Millwall will be our live commentary. Now it's with Højbjerg. He's got mud on the back of his white shirt. The pitch is not actually perfect. Of course, there have been a number of games played on these surfaces now. Crossfield ball to the near side, and Mæhle headed away by Koundé, and there's a throw for Denmark level with the edge of the France box. It is all quite tepid and one pace at the moment, quite a leisurely pace to the game.
Yeah, Denmark have not got to get embarrassed having the ball for so long. It's like as if, just keep it. If France don't want to press you on the halfway line, just keep the ball at the back. Don't be embarrassed. Just keep moving it. One of them will step out of position, but what you tend to do, they get embarrassed and then they force a pass that doesn't exist and give it away.
Forward by Andreas Christensen, high towards Rasmus Christensen, headed away by Hernandez. No sign of Didier Deschamps just yet in the France dugout. I mean, he's sitting in it at the moment, but we haven't seen him in the technical area. The man who led France to World Cup glory 4 years ago and won the competition as a player too in 1998. Christensen tries to set away Eriksson, and the cross from Lindstrom is blocked firmly and powerfully by Theo Hernandez, and a throw to Denmark deep inside the France half, right in front of some French supporters who are waving their flags a yard or so from the corner flag. Eriksson, can he swing in a delivery? And the last touch is off Eriksson under pressure from Adrien Rabiot, out of play, and it is a goal kick to France. It's quite humid, Dean. Is that having any impact on the play, maybe?
No, not really. It's perfect conditions to play football in. I mean, could be at Lancaster today, playing in the wind
or
and the ice.
United.
Ashton.
Well, talking of Dean Saunders, one of his former clubs, Wrexham, in action in the FA Cup second round today against Farnborough of the National League South, and there's been a goal. Ian Abrahams.
It's Wrexham 1, Farnborough 0, and a man after Dean Saunders' heart. Paul Mullin has scrambled this in. He's done pretty much nothing for the last 50 minutes, and he's done what he's paid for now, put Wrexham in front from a corner. Wrexham 1, Farnborough 0.
Thanks, Ian.
Great signing, Mullin. I think they're going to do it, Wrexham. I hope they do. It's a great story.
Yeah, they're top of the National League, aren't they? Here's Rasmus Christensen for Denmark, forward down the right-hand channel towards Lindstrom, trying to play it through the legs of Upamecano, who blocks him off and then stretched out his long leg to knock the ball out of play, prevent the corner. It is a Denmark throw again, deep inside the France half, and France have just dropped off a little since that Rabiot header a few minutes ago as we tick towards the half-hour mark. It's still goalless. Lindstrom driving towards the dead ball line, and he's shepherded aside by Theo Hernandez. Good defending, good use of his strength. Lindstrom the much smaller of the two, and France have a goal kick.
Weak. Lundstrom, like, he's just been brushed aside there. He's a young lad, but not strong enough. I mean, strangely enough, Denmark, they're at their most vulnerable when they're getting corners around the edge of France's box, and the back five are up on the halfway line, and they've got all that grass behind them. And I think the manager sometimes will be telling them that, like, be alive when we haven't got the ball.
Griezmann has hooked it to the left, and Mbappe dribbling forward at real pace, twisting and turning beyond the defender, getting to the dead ball line and crossing, overhit, but it'll come for Koundé, who shoots, blocked on inside the 6-yard box by Højbjerg, and Schmeichel able to pounce on the loose ball. We were right behind that strike from Jules Koundé, who has never scored for France, and that was always going wide, I think, Dean.
Two wide players killing Denmark. The two of them are not working hard enough, not showing any determination. Once again, Mbappe's got a 1v1 with the full-back. He's crossing it over the back post. And the right back for France, Koundé, is getting in the box. Where's Damsgaard? Walking again on the halfway line. Get back. Them two will get a bit of stick off the manager at half-time.
Well, Mbappe almost defies belief, his pace, and everybody knows about that, including Denmark, of course. Here's an opportunity for Giroud to feed Dembele, and the pass is behind Dembele. Tried to angle it towards the right on that near side touchline, and it's out of play and a Denmark throw in their left wing-back position. And Denmark, that save from Rabiot aside by Schmeichel, actually relatively untroubled, but you're absolutely right, Dean. They're being caught time and time again by Mbappe in particular, and Denmark haven't really threatened the French goal at all as yet.
I mean, if you ask the right back before the game, you're playing against Mbappe today, what do you need? He'd say help.
You would.
And he'd walk straight to Lundstram and say, yeah, from you.
Here is Lundstram down the far side of the field, trying to swing in the cross. And Lundstram, who was linked with Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund until relatively recently. The cross initially blocked by Upamecano, and then the ball ricocheted off the shin of Lindstrom. I think the last touch, actually, having seen a replay, we've got big television screens in our commentary position. I think the last touch was off Upamecano, so the officials got that one wrong, and now we see Didier Deschamps with nearly 32 minutes gone and stride to the front of his huge technical area and start to issue those French players some instructions. Hartlepool 3, Harrogate 0 in an All-League 2 tie in the FA Cup today. Lloris clears high and long downfield for France. The flick downfield by Olivier Giroud, and the touch from Dembele to win a throw off Mela. Koundé goes back to Varane, who's midway inside his own half in a central position. I guess given how good both sides have been and Denmark's recent record against France, it was always possible this would be quite a cagey game, and the stats bear that out. Just a single attempt on target so far, and Denmark haven't had any effort on goal of any description. Little back heel from Mbappe, intercepted by Lindstrom, who tracks back well, but Griezmann sliding in on Anderson. The ball is bouncing around between the two sides, and Griezmann has possession again for France. Carries it forward towards Giroud, gets the return pass into the area, shoots Nilo, it's saved by Schmeichel with his legs. Now Dembele, Chouameni, blocked from the edge of the box, knocks it on. Dembele shoots, having received the ball at a tight angle. His effort is blocked by Mela this time. Well, Griezmann did well to get a shot away initially, impossible angle. Schmeichel turned it away with his left foot, a bit unorthodox, but it was effective enough. That's the second save the goalkeeper's had to make, and it's still goalless.
Well, he's keeping a minute, Kasper Schmeichel. Brilliant save with his feet again.
I don't know how Griezmann got that shot away. Dembele caught in the penalty area. Koundé with time and space to flick in the cross. Mbappe climbing, headed away brilliantly by Rasmus Christensen. Koundé had so much time to stand that one up, and now the flick by Hernandez towards the edge of the box. It's come down to Rabiot to strike. Rasmus Christensen in the way again, and a little bit of desperation about the Danish defending now.
Yeah, I think if I was the Denmark manager now, I'd go 5-4-1 and get them compact, ride the storm to half-time, because they're about to concede a goal.
You can hear the chants of the French supporters. Forward by Griezmann. Giroud, it almost reached him, cleared away by Andreas Christensen, and then that's a foul by Cornelius, and a free kick to France, left of centre, midway into opposition territory.
Yeah, that's a free kick. Definite free kick on the edge of the box. I mean, Griezmann, when he got through there, it's a brilliant bit of play. He gets in the left-hand side, gets the byline, cuts the cross across Schmeichel, saves it with his left foot, and they're queuing up for a rebound, but they managed to get it away. But there's a foul now, 25 yards out. Griezmann's on the ball. I think it's a little bit too far out to shoot.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Surely, Dean. It's probably 35 yards from goal at least. Hartlepool 3, Harrogate 1 in the FA Cup. Griezmann standing over the ball, goalless in the World Cup. France against Denmark. Griezmann to float one in towards Giroud, headed away by Anderson, comes back to Chouameni, near side of the field to find the feet of Koundé with the white boots on. Benjamin Pavard dropping to the bench for France tonight. Forward by Griezmann, and Mbappe's touch is heavy, and Højbjerg there to intercept, and now Denmark can counter. Cornelius over the halfway line. Højbjerg racing forward, back towards Cornelius. Cornelius into the penalty area, angle tight, he shoots, and it's just wide of goal. It had Lloris flinging himself to his left-hand side, firmly struck by Cornelius at a slight angle. Denmark's best chance of the game so far, 0-0.
Brilliant counter-attack. They got everyone behind the ball. They've won it on the edge of their own box. Højbjerg makes a great tackle, skips a challenge. Cornelius makes a run from in to out. Højbjerg puts him in on his right foot, got to shoot across the keeper. I mean, he struck it lovely, but he's at an angle and he has to shoot across Lloris and aim for the far post. You might get a tap-in off the rebound.
It was always going to be difficult to beat Hugo Lloris from that sort of range.
The only way he beats him is if he slices it up inside the near post.
Here's a chance on that far side for Mbappe for France, that left-hand channel. And Theo Hernandez back towards Kylian Mbappe. Now Tchouameni, maybe sizing one up from 30 yards out, forward to Giroud in a central position. Varane to Koundé, near side the right. Ousmane Dembele hugging the touchline, cuts infield, twisting on his left side. He's got Koundé in support. Dembele really teasing the defender Damsgaard. High cross to the far post. Mbappe on the volley with a cross. Giroud climbing, and he nods it wide. He did brilliantly to make contact. He might have hurt himself in a clash of heads with Victor Nelson. He's come off worse, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Denmark.
There's an example of why he scored 50 goals. Pinged out to the left, diagonal ball. Mbappe looks as if he's going to go for a Marco van Basten volley, squares it across the face. Giroud, 4 defenders. Who gets to the ball first? Giroud wants to score.
AFC Wimbledon 0, Chesterfield 2 in the FA Cup. Forest Green still lead at home to non-league Alfchurch, but they are down to 10 men. Dominic Bernard has been sent off, and there's a goal in the FA Cup at Hillsborough. Mickey Gray.
It's the equaliser. 79 minutes gone at Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1. Lovely play from Sheffield Wednesday down the left-hand side. Marvin Johnson with his left foot, great ball into the area. Micah Smith couldn't miss from 2 yards out for the equaliser. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1.
Thank you, Mickey. As the ball is cleared long downfield by Dembele, and Denmark pick up possession just inside opposition territory. Not full here, by some distance actually, this stadium, over 44,000 the capacity. Rasmus Christensen controls on the right hand side, through the legs of Hernandez, a low ball into, right across the face of goal, and nobody in white went for it. Cornelius was standing, statuesque, hardly showing a front man's instinct. He only needed to get a toe on it, and it would have been 1-0 to Denmark, but no goal-scoring instinct, it appears, whatsoever.
No, it's brilliant play. They've switched the ball out to the right-hand side. Anderson's nutmegged Hernandez. It come into the box, opened his body out, bent it round the back of the defence, and Cornelius is stood with it on his heels as if, what just happened there? Aguero taps that in.
Well,
that's what you pay the money for.
Giroud certainly gets to it, doesn't he? And Denmark have had this rotation, this revolving door of front men, and it's cost them again. Theo Hernandez racing forward now for France, through the middle, a brilliant run. Now, was he tripped by Eriksson? The referee says no. France wants a free kick, but it's not forthcoming. Griezmann there to try and win it back. It's cleared away by Rasmus Christensen, not a good clearance. Griezmann holds on to the ball, left wing position, early ball high towards Giroud. Giroud trying to bring it down, he can't do so. Dennis Bergkamp starred in front of Victor Nelson. It'll be out of play for a Denmark throw. Oxford 2, Exeter 0 in the FA Cup, and lots of good fortune for Dean Saunders' former sides today, it would seem.
Oxford.
Mailer clears.
They were in the Premier League when I played for him. Robert Maxwell owned the club, remember? Years and years ago.
Back in the Milk Cup days.
First Division, not Premier League.
Yes.
Same thing.
Floated forward by Varane down the right-hand channel. Dembele will reach it. He's got time and space to get into the penalty area, pull it back. Mbappe! Over the top, should have scored. 12 yards out, half volley. Not difficult for a player of his quality. And it's miles over the top. And it is still France 0, Denmark 0, and a big let-off for the Danes.
How much, Joe? 300 million. How much? I mean, that's
not that evident.
That is a great ball over the top. Only the second one they've played in behind. Dembele picks Mbappe out just top of the penalty spot on his right foot. All he's got to do is sweep it into the net. and he's just got his foot to the ball a little bit early, leaned back, and it's gone over the bar.
Forward by Rasmus Christensen, a low pass towards the centre of the penalty area where Cornelius was chasing. It's cleared away by Upamecano, who slipped and has hurt himself. Upamecano's gone down, the referee stops the game straight away. Now, is that an ankle problem? No, he's up on his feet. When he went down immediately did Deo Upamecano. They've had awful luck with injuries, France, of course, in the build-up, and he was maybe caught by Cornelius there.
Cornelius has stepped on his foot. I think Cornelius is one of them players, you know, in training, that always hurts everyone by accident. One of them clumsy players that steps on people.
Well, he's not had a great evening of it so far. Another goal at the racecourse ground in the FA Cup. Ian Abrahams.
Wrexham 1, Farnborough 1. Ollie Pendlebury with a free kick right hand side, 25 yards out beyond Mark Howard. Aye, game on. Wrexham 1, Farnborough 1.
There's been a goal at Hillsborough 2, Mickey Gray.
Well, they've turned it around. It's now Sheffield Wednesday 2, Mansfield 2, and the man who got the first goal, Michael Smith, has come up with his second goal. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Mansfield 1.
Well, Dean, maybe we spoke too soon about your former clubs, possibly.
Well, I've got a link to Farnborough, if that's any good. I've been coaching their veterans team, so some of them will be at the game today.
If there's a club, Dean Saunders has probably played for it at some point, or managed them. Now the ball is with Denmark, and Andreas Christensen inside the centre circle. Out to the left-hand side of Nelson. I don't know whether I'm wrong to say, Dean, I've been a bit disappointed with the game, just based upon the quality that both sides have got, as it's lofted forward towards Lindstrom for Denmark. He lays it off, Eriksson tries to meet it, cleared away by Upamecano. Now can France counter? Griezmann darting up towards halfway, but then he's held up, and Griezmann, with a sea of white shirts in front of him, will play it square to Chouameni. Koundé over the halfway line, Dembele right next to him, little 1-2 between the pair. Koundé blocked off by Nelson, firm challenge. Nelson's come off much the worst of the two. The yellow card out of the pocket for Koundé, who must have followed through on Victor Nelson, who got to the ball bravely, and the assistant flagged immediately. Kasper Hjulmand and the Denmark bench out with their protests. Koundé is booked. Be interesting to see this one again, Dean.
Well, it was a bit of a sickening noise. I hope he's alright.
Caught his ankle.
Yeah. Koundé's gone in. He's just a fraction late. I mean, these things happen. When you've got two players trying to compete for the ball, one gets there late. He has to. It has to be one of them, and it could have been either one of them who got injured, but he's down on the floor, holding his shin. Really saw that if he's just missed his shin pad.
Well, he's receiving treatment now. 2.5 minutes of the first half to go on TalkSport. It remains goalless here. We've got Argentina against Mexico to come. Full commentary from the spectacular Lusail Stadium, one of football's great South American rivalries, Argentina and Mexico, as Nelson was caught by Koundé. Just seeing a replay of it again. Yeah, Central against South America tonight on TalkSport, and the coverage continues tomorrow, including, amongst our 4 commentary matches, Belgium against Morocco and Spain against Germany tomorrow at 7. So we're really looking forward to both of those. And I'll be off to interview a couple in the Wales camp, Dean, ahead of Wales against England next week on
I'm still recovering, John.
Oh.
I'm just getting over it now. Why have you brought that back up?
Sorry, I thought you were in an excellent mood, and I've ruined it all, haven't I?
No. This is what you got to do in football. You get loads of slaps in the face. You got to get up off the floor, and you got to think to yourself, we can beat England. Next job in front of us. There's no point in looking back.
Well, it will be on TalkSport, as you'd expect. Into the last minute of normal time at the end of the first half. Nelson's back up on his feet. Nelson a replacement for Simon Kjær, the skipper. Crossfield by Anderson, belted straight out of play. Am I right, Dean, to say I'm a little disappointed in the quality of the game?
Yeah, I don't think Denmark expected to have so much of the ball. You know, they've been like knocking it around the back. The centre-backs get embarrassed. You know, like just keep knocking him, suck them out. One of them will step out eventually. But what they do, they get bored and then hit a long ball, give it away. You can't give the ball away against France. They'll catch you.
French fans behind the goal are singing La Marseillaise. The blue and white and red flags up into the air, and the scarves too. Eriksson shoots from 35 yards and it bobbles well wide. Christian Eriksson, who has scored a World Cup goal, back on the biggest stage of football after that awful incident at Euro 2020. And Christian Eriksson, who said that he was gone from this world, and we all know about the circumstances of the collapse, but celebrating a footballer who continues to look as such a wonderful player at this stage in his career. 3 minutes of added time in the first half.
Yeah, and there's lots of footballers who never got back up off the floor with the same problem, so
yeah,
he's really lucky, and he knows he's lucky.
Forward by Damsgaard, into the feet of Cornelius, blocked off by Tchouameni, and now taken up by Varane. Forward to Griezmann, whipped out to the left hand side now, and Theo Hernandez, he can drive forward into a big pocket of space. He's got Giroud through the middle, and Mbappe to the left. Mbappe, all right foot, back towards Tchouameni once more. Now Rabiot, middle of the Danish half, exchanges passes with Griezmann, lofts it high onto the chest of Mbappe. Mbappe whips in the cross. It's too much on it for Giroud. You can see what they were trying to do, and Giroud is so good in the air, but the cross from Mbappe was overhit, and the French have lacked, the holders have lacked their regular end product.
Yeah, you watch Giroud, and not only is he good in the air, he's really strong. So Christensen's trying to get hold of him there in the box, and Giroud's just grabbed hold of him and just pushed him aside. So not only, is he good at picking the flight of the ball up, which is the secret to it. Alan Shearer was unbelievable at that, picking the flight up early, getting the ball at his highest point. Body strength is really strong.
Wales 34, Australia 18 in the Autumn Nations. Commentary continues on TalkSport 2 right now. Remember to download the app, you can swipe between both stations. Here is Mæhle for Denmark, back to the halfway line, and Højbjerg. Now it's collected by Nelson. Nelson feeds it forward towards Damsgaard. Good run, tracking back into a centre position. Gets the return ball from Mæhle, looks for the left wing back again. It bounces beyond Mæhle and out of play for a France throw in their right back position. 2 through the 3 added at the end of the first half, and it's a first half that is seemingly petering out now. Hammered up into the sky by Griezmann. Hernandez will control. Poor header though, straight to Lindstrom. Lindstrom trying to dart through the middle. He's shrugged aside by Rabiot. That commanding presence in midfield. Hernandez is over the halfway line. Hernandez striving forward. Mbappe in support. Mbappe racing towards the edge of the box, shooting, and it hit Giroud. It crashed against the head of Giroud, who seemed to fling himself at it. It was a brilliant clearance in the end, Dean.
Well, Mbappe dropped his shoulder, come inside on his right foot, and smacked it as hard as he could. Giroud, like diving header, chested it away.
Unbelievable block.
It looked like he was heading for the far corner, but lethal Mbappe. You can see he's got a stick of dynamite in his feet.
Mbappe struck it fiercely. I think it hit Anderson, and then poor old Giroud right against the side of his head. Headed forward by Varane. Half-time whistle blows, and a rather quiet and sometimes sluggish first half, you have to say, at Stadium 974 in a humid evening. France, who know that if they win, they'll be through to the knockout stages, the holders, but they haven't created too much so far. Adrien Rabiot and Antoine Griezmann both denied by Kasper Schmeichel in a cagey encounter. The Danes have not yet had a shot on target. At the break on TalkSport, France 0, Denmark 0. Thank you, Dan. And that ever-revolving list of number 9s continues for Denmark, because Andreas Cornelius has gone off, and Martin Braithwaite, formerly of both Middlesbrough and quite an unhappy spell actually at Barcelona, has taken to the field. So Cornelius pays for his missed chances again, and Braithwaite is the man on. Other than that, both sides are unchanged. The second half has kicked off. France playing from right to left towards the end that houses most of their supporters, who are waving their flags and lots of banners behind that goal. France blue shirts, white shorts and red socks, and the Danes playing from left to right towards their end of the stadium, if you like. There are a few hundred Denmark fans behind the goal, and Denmark wearing the white shirts, red shorts and white socks. The floodlights on here on a very muggy evening at Stadium 974. Forward come Denmark, a loose pass though from Damsgaard, intercepted by Varane, and France clear to Dembele, who sprints over the halfway line at great pace, charging forward towards the edge of the box. Dembele might go it alone. He looked for Giroud, instead finds Mbappe. Mbappe edge of the box, dinks it in high towards Rabiot, who'd made a great run, and it's cleared away in the nick of time by Andreas Christensen for Denmark. It was nearly a wonderful little flick dink into the area from Mbappe. Rabiot appeared out of nowhere, and Denmark get it away. Here's Dean Saunders.
Mbappe just looks like he's playing on the beach. Doesn't he? He's like, he's like bored. What can I do next? That was like Dembele run across the box, rapid, you can't get near him. He keeps shifting the ball. He ends up giving it to Mbappe on the opposite side of the pitch. Mbappe could have just controlled it and maybe had a shot. He's tried to flick it first time over all the defenders. Didn't come off, but good effort.
Lloris is the French goalkeeper. Koundé, Varane, Upamecano and Theo Hernandez in the back four. Tchouaméni and Rabiot in front of them. Dembele, Griezmann and Mbappe in support of Giroud. For Denmark, Schmeichel in goal. Andersen, Andreas Christensen and Nelson the defenders. Rasmus Christensen and Mæhle the wing-backs, with Højbjerg and Eriksen in midfield. And the supporting two of Lindstrom and Damsgaard playing in support of the sub, Martin Braithwaite, who came on for the start of the second half. Argentina against Mexico to come on Talk Sport, but it's 0-0 between France and Denmark. The Danes heading for back-to-back draws, and France would be denied the win they need to go into the knockouts. Here is Dembele back towards Rabiot. Rabiot converged upon quickly by Højbjerg, who stepped in to win it back well. He plays it forward down the inside right channel. Too much on it for Jesper Lindstrom. Back it goes to the goalkeeper Lloris via the boot of Theo Hernandez, and Lloris clears high downfield, and Højbjerg completely unchallenged there to win it back. Now Eriksen, left of centre, 25 yards out. Mæhle is on the overlap for Denmark. Mæhle back towards Christian Eriksen again. Eriksen with a cross towards the near post, right across the face of goal. Braithwaite at least made a play for it, which is more than can be said for Cornelius in the first half. Cornelius having since gone off, but ultimately it was maybe a little too close to goal, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
I was just about to say to Joe, we haven't seen Eriksen.
Yep.
But there it is, flash of magic. He's just facing the touchline on the left channel and just decides without looking to just whip that ball around the defence. Braithwaite, the reason he was on the bench is because he doesn't get on the end of crosses like that as well. Cornelius is off.
It's so difficult for Kasper Hjulmand, isn't it, though, because he doesn't seem to trust any one of his central strikers. And I guess, Dean, as a former striker yourself, if you don't feel the trust of your coach, then you're not going to have the confidence, are you?
Well, what's your job? Score goals.
Yeah.
If you don't score goals, go and play in midfield. That's why they don't play up front. Midfield players. You've got to score. No manager ever said to me, stop scoring. That's your job. So if you don't get goals, you're going to get taken off.
Well, they haven't scored yet in the tournament, Denmark, but here comes Lindstrom darting through the middle. Can he find Eriksen? Edge of the penalty area, it squeezes through into the box. It's cleared away by Koundé. There were plenty of blue shirts back for France, but Denmark on the attack with Rasmus Christensen again. Down by the dead ball line, he wins a throw off Theo Hernandez. Andersen was coming forward in support as Rasmus Christensen takes the throw in field. It's held up neatly by Eriksen with his back to goal, sandwiched in between two France defenders. Rabiot able to clear, and France can counter now with Kylian Mbappe over the halfway line. That sumptuous touch and glorious change of pace, darting towards goal and away from Andreas Christensen. Christensen standing up, Mbappe who crosses, and Dembele is in there, tries to juggle the ball back towards Mbappe, and in the end it's into the gloves of Kasper Schmeichel.
Oh, you've seen Mbappe's speed of thought there, and the speed of his legs. He carried the ball all the way down the left wing, and he's got two players doubling up on him, and he's like shimmying, and he lays it sideways with the outside of his foot, his right foot, and then carries on his run. It nearly went through to him. If it had gone through to him, that would have been the best speed of thought I've seen from any player out there tonight. Brilliant.
France nil, Denmark nil. 5 minutes into the second half on Talk Sport. Raining goals at Wrexham in the second round of the FA Cup. Ian Abrahams.
It's 400 minutes at the end. Wrexham 4, Farnborough 1. No one's ever told Dean Saunders to stop scoring goals, or Paul Mullen completing his hat-trick with an acrobatic volley off the floor. Wrexham 4, Farnborough 1.
Braithwaite trying to win a corner off Varane, and he's done just that for Denmark in front of those travelling supporters at the end to our right-hand side. We're high up in the main stand, just to the right of the halfway line, and Denmark will have a set piece, and Eriksen will go across to take it, Dean.
That just confirms my point, Joe. Why do you think Paul Mullen's getting about $4,000 a week off Wrexham?
Well, he scores plenty.
He scores every week. That's why you get the money. Produce.
The evergreen Paul Mullen. Eriksen to take this corner, the number 10 on the near side of the field. Plenty forward for Denmark, including Nelson, and Andreas Christensen is there as well. The Denmark fans on their feet behind that goal. It'll be swung in by Eriksen high towards the far post, and Rasmus Christensen climbing. Here comes Lloris, and he takes it well high above Braithwaite, and well played, the goalkeeper.
Well, Lloris there, if he'd have picked his head up quick, he catches the cross. But Dembele is on his own. Out on the right, it needed one of them side volleys and he was in.
The ball is now on the near side of the field with Mbappe. Mbappe right on the halfway line. And now Rabiot square to Tchouaméni. And Tchouaméni not at any great pace. Angles the ball out to the right, and Dembele. We are 7 minutes into the second half and it's still 0-0. And Tchouaméni, who is of Real Madrid with his club football, 100 million euros his price tag. Spent a lot of time training with Cesc Fabregas when the two were together at Monaco, and at 22 years of age he is an exceptionally exciting talent, Dean, as are so many of these French players, and there is a sense that maybe the baton is starting to pass to a younger generation.
I haven't mentioned the bench yet, who they play for.
Scary.
They're either at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, Juventus. They're queuing up.
Forward by Koundé, high down the right towards Griezmann. He knew the offside flag was coming, and there it was. It's not just football you can look forward to, of course, with the World Cup and Premier League action around Christmas time to come, but next Saturday we've got live and exclusive boxing, Fury against Chisora, and you can listen on air via smart speaker or download the TalkSport app for free. That's next Saturday. Andreas Christensen has it for Denmark in the centre circle, and again that sluggish one-pace nature to the game. It's almost at walking pace now, but here's Mæhle trying to pick things up a bit and trying to find the run of Lindstrom, but it's cleared away by France. Dembele just drifting to the halfway line, great ball through the middle, aimed at Mbappe. Kasper Schmeichel read it well, quick off his line to hammer the ball clear, and header away by Koundé in the right back position. That's an experienced goalkeeper who reads it well.
Yeah, and what he's trying to do, Mbappe, now and again he walks in on the right side centre-back, Anderson. He walks in on him and he's looking for Dembele to come inside, and then he makes that run that Mane makes in between the two centre-backs and he's in. That's what he's looking to do.
Well, Mbappe's certainly got the pace to get on the end of those sorts of passes, and Schmeichel in all green was quick off his line. Again, the atmosphere rather flat here. The stadium is mostly full, but there are empty seats all around us in this two-tiered bowl-shaped Stadium 974, made out of the shipping containers. And certainly the most unique venue, you'd have to say, at this World Cup. The ball is in the centre circle with Christian Eriksen for Denmark. Eriksen pointing the way forward. He angles the pass to the near side, the right, and Damsgaard. Damsgaard looks for Braithwaite. Good turn by Braithwaite, and Hernandez dived in with the challenge. Last touch off the Frenchman, and it's out of play for a corner on the near side. Full time at the racecourse ground, and Dean's former side, Wrexham, have beaten another of Dean's former sides, Farnborough, by 4-1.
Farnborough Vets.
Farnborough Vets, that is.
I coached.
In the FA Cup second round. Of course, we'll bring you the third round draw on TalkSport as always. Now then, corner to Denmark. They're second of the second half. It's 0-0 in the 55th minute. Eriksen one arm up into the air. It'll be a right-footed, out-swinging delivery. The centre-halves are all forward. Eriksen hits it high. Andreas Christensen climbing, headed away. Whipped back in by Lindstrom. And Braithwaite is onside. He shoots. It's blocked by Upamecano. And then the flag does go up from point-blank range. It all seemed a little too good to be true for Denmark there. Had Braithwaite actually somehow kept himself onside, and the flag eventually did go up, and actually it's a good couple of yards, Dean, isn't it, I think?
Well, good job he was offside, because he looked like the Tin Man trying to finish that. Stiff. Didn't he? Like as if he hadn't played for 6 months.
Well,
Braithwaite.
It's a similar theme with a lot of these Danish strikers. We're seeing that in the game and in the tournament so far, but they are having most of the possession in this second half, Denmark. So can they carve out an opportunity? Forward by Højbjerg, inside right channel, taken up by Mikkel Damsgaard, who crosses, takes a deflection off Upamecano. Varane sweeps it away, high to the halfway line. And France look a little off the pace, a little lethargic in this second half, but it's with Rabiot. And Rabiot forward to Mbappe on the halfway line. He turns away from Anderson with ease. Mbappe driving forward at great pace. He looks dangerous. Mbappe shoots and parried away by Schmeichel. That was a 50-yard run, and it ended with the palms of the goalkeeper being stung and France winning a corner.
Ridiculous power, pace, aggression, out of nothing. The ball just played into his feet. Anderson's kicked the backs of his leg, he's rolled him, and then within half a second, he's 3 yards clear of him, driving for the middle of the goal, shifts it onto his left foot, brilliant strike, too close to Schmeichel, carried away.
France fans to their feet behind the goal. Their first corner of the second half. Griezmann will take it. It'll be left-footed and out-swinging. Plenty forward in blue. Swung in high towards the near post. A poor delivery. Rasmus Christensen is there to nod it away. It didn't actually beat the first man, that corner, in the end. Argentina against Mexico, remember, coming up at 7 on TalkSport. On a busy day at the World Cup again. Australia winners in Group D earlier against Tunisia, who are really up against it. And Poland beat Saudi Arabia by 2-0, including a first World Cup goal for Robert Lewandowski.
I'm doing Canada tomorrow, so I can't wait for that one as well.
Canada,
what a
Croatia.
good team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they probably should have beaten
Live
Belgium.
on TalkSport, by the way.
It is live on Talk. You're getting the hang of this, Dean, aren't you? I might leave the plugs to you from now on. But yeah, we're looking forward to that, certainly. Croatia, Canada, Belgium, Morocco, Spain, Germany, and Japan, Costa Rica as well. All the live football. There's a foul on Hernandez by Rasmus Christensen. How long before Didier Deschamps looks towards his bench, I wonder, Dean, because we're getting towards the hour mark now, aren't we? And it's still goalless.
I don't know what you think, Joe. Have we underplayed the humidity? Because this is the only stadium without air conditioning in it, and it does feel warm.
It feels very hot, doesn't it?
Humid, yeah. Whether it's slowed the game down, but both teams look like they've got another gear in them.
Tchouaméni in the centre circle, drifting forward. Giroud back to goal. And was he fouled, or did he foul Nelson rather? It's cleared away by Mela. France have it back on the halfway line. Giroud looks to the referee and play continues. It's Theo Hernandez on the ball. On the near side, the French left, infield to Rabiot. Giroud making a momentary run through the middle, but then checks his run. Tchouaméni crossfield, out to the right, and Koundé controls. Koundé attacking the edge of the Denmark penalty area, gets away from Damsgaard. Koundé plays it infield, Mbappe's flick, almost through, cleared away by Andreas Christensen. Well, he tried to almost Cruyff turn it beyond 2 defenders there, Mbappe, and he nearly got through, but Andreas Christensen stood firm and in the way.
Well, Damsgaard and Lundstrom are going to cost you the game. They don't want to defend. They're about to let you down. Once again, Damsgaard goes over there, weak, pathetic challenge. They nearly scored from it.
Floated forward by Tchouaméni, taken down brilliantly by Griezmann, who hammers it over the top. He controlled it on his chest. Wonderful first touch to take Nelson out of the game, but when it bounced down just inside the penalty area, he hit it miles over the top, right into the top tier.
There you go, that's that run. Mo Salah, Mahrez, Sterling, Mane, that's that run from out to in. Griezmann's made it, out to in, on the offside line. Great ball floated over. He's got it on his chest as it's dropped, perfect for him. Griezmann, I'm thinking that's going to hit the back of the net. He sliced it, miles over.
Forward by Rasmus Christensen, and now Lindstrom and Damsgaard exchanging passes. Lindstrom has got space to play it towards the left-hand side, and Mela. Koundé gets there first. That's a poor layoff from Lindstrom because Eriksson and Mela are in lots of space. Koundé the only man back. Koundé clears long. Giroud goes up for the header. Andreas Christensen is there. That's a really crucial fight in this match, you feel, between those two. And Andreas Christensen is getting the better of France's joint equal leading scorer. He can outright move ahead, Giroud, tonight above Thierry Henry if he gets himself on the score sheet. And France have it with Tchouaméni. Forward to Theo Hernandez. Now then, there's lots of space for him to dart into. Mbappe left wing position. Cutting in field as always. Onto his right foot. Setting up Theo Hernandez. Will pull it back. Mbappe! Rifles it home! Kylian Mbappe! France's main man! Just when they needed him. There to rifle it beyond Kasper Schmeichel. It's more brilliance from a player who just loves the World Cup. And the holders lead, and France as things stand, heading through to the knockout stages. It's France 1, Denmark 0.
Well, it's a brilliant goal, but it was coming once again. I'm sorry to say I told you so. Lundstrom, where are you? He's got a 1v1 again on the fullback. Get back and help him. Look, you can't leave Mbappe have 1v1s on. He's played a great one too with, I think it was Giroud. It's a cut back, and there he is, Mbappe, side foot finish. straight through a pair of legs, but I think it was Hernandez that got to the byline. But he's give and go. He's played somebody into the channel and carried on his run. And Damsgaard's stood out on the touchline with his hands on his hips watching. He's a winger. It's not his job, but you've got to do better.
There will be no outright all-time goal-scoring record today for Olivier Giroud. He's going off, and Marcus Thuram, who is the son of the French World Cup winner in '98, Lilian, is going to come on. Unlike his dad, though, he plays much further up the pitch. So Thuram for Giroud is a straight swap. But Kylian Mbappe now, 13 goals in his last 12 caps for France. That's unbelievable. And after his goal-scoring record, Dean, in 2018, 4 at that World Cup, 2 already at this. And, well, it's turning into another special tournament for him already. 1-0 France.
Yeah, but I mean, I know they've got good players, and like if you stop Mbappe, you've got to stop Griezmann, you've got to stop Giroud, you've got to stop Mbele, you've got to stop Rabiot. You know, they have got a lot of good players. But if you were managing tomorrow, Joe, a football team, and Mbappe was playing against you, would you not think that the fullback might need a bit of help today?
I think I'd take some extra precautions, yeah. Because he has been left time and time again. You called it, Dean, in the first 10 minutes. Time and time again he's had the freedom of the 9-7-4, hasn't he, to attack down that left.
Yeah, and when he gets the ball in the place he wants it, in the middle of his feet, and he starts running at you, you're dead as a fullback. You've got to make him rush somehow. So if there's 2 of you there, you can, like, say, send him inside to me, send him outside, keep him going down there and behind you and with you. You double up on him and make him pass it somewhere else. And if you don't want to do it, get off. It's France in the World Cup.
That's the former Wales striker Dean Saunders in the rugby. Wales 34, Australia 39. Remarkable Australian comeback. That's a full-time result. England against South Africa, commentary on TalkSport 2 in less than 10 minutes' time. A 5:30 start. 7 o'clock for Argentina against Mexico. The ball is knocked down the Denmark left. It's out of play. This has been a very tepid Denmark. The adventurous side that we saw at Euro 2020. Of course, in part spurred on by what happened with Christian Eriksen, but they really haven't shown a great deal of adventure in their play.
Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the word I'd say, punchless.
No potency in this Denmark team at the moment, and as if to illustrate that, it's been knocked out of play by Lindstrom. I mean, Dean, when you change your front three as a head coach, he's had a risk to change things that much from the first game as Hjulmand did.
Well, it tells you everything he's thinking. You know, he's a desperation. He's thinking, right, well, I'll give these 3 a go, and you know, if they don't do it, I'll give them. Like, sometimes you do look at, is it the gun or the bullets? You know, if you keep playing strikers that.
And Thuram might reach that knockdown from Mbappe. He did get there. He's taken out, really, by Højbjerg. He went down holding his ankle, but Thuram, the young man, well, I say young man, actually he's 25, is quickly up to his feet. This is just his 6th cap for France. A forward by Christensen, Rasmus Christensen down the Denmark right, inside right channel, and Upamecano shepherds it behind. It's France 1, Denmark 0.
Yeah, I was saying about, you know, when you get strikers who aren't scoring for you and you're managing them, I always look, is the service there? You know, I've got 4 strikers I've tried, and all of them have got a goal record in the past, and none of them seem to be scoring. Is it the chances we're making, or are they missing? Well, today 3 crosses have gone across the face of the goal, centre forward's dream, none of them on the end of it. So it's the strikers, it's not the service.
Yeah. And that is the problem position for Denmark, no question about it. As Lloris clears high and long, sun has long set here at Stadium 974 in the Qatari Desert, the World Cup on the TalkSport network with our wall-to-wall coverage. We'll have breakfast and Jim White and Simon Jordan live all the way through the group stages on the network, live and in vision as well on our YouTube channel. And now it's Andreas Christensen, the number 6 for Denmark, square to Andersen. Andersen angled pass to the near side, and Rasmus Christensen, who controls in front of the Danish dugout. Lovely flick by Højbjerg, gets it back from Eriksen. Even that layout from Eriksen wasn't great, but a great play by Damsgaard to cross in. It's only half cleared, Varane gets it away. Upamecano slices up into the air. Great ball in from Jesper Lindstrom, and France looked nervous. They dealt with that, not entirely convincing. Now Braithwaite with his back to goal, and Christian Eriksen, right of centre near side, rolls it to the halfway line. Really dangerous ball in from Lindstrom. and France scramble it clear.
Dream ball, great ball from Lundstrom. Bit like David Beckham's, one of his whips across the face of goal. No one on the end of it again.
Mailer left side, the far side for Denmark. Back to Højbjerg. Højbjerg now sweeping cross field. That's a great pass. Well controlled by Rasmus Christensen. Inside right channel. Lindstrom pulls it back across. Blocked by Upamecano. Back to Lindstrom. The ball had already got out of play. It'll be a corner to Denmark. He had lots of time there, Lindstrom, and actually maybe should have done better.
I thought he's that close to goal on the byline with all the defenders got sucked to the near post. I thought dink it to the back post, but at least he's tried to pick somebody out. He's not just smashed it.
But he's tried to drill it in, hasn't he?
I think he's seen someone, he's tried to cut it. They've read it in the box.
Eriksen in front of the Danish fans. It'll be right-footed and out-swinging from Christian Eriksen. Whipped in towards the near post. Andersen there, headed in! Andreas Christensen has nodded Denmark level. Their first goal of this World Cup, and it's set-piece success for Denmark, and it's game on as we head into the last quarter here at the Stadium 974. A rare goal for Andreas Christensen, point-blank range, and France are pegged back. France won, Denmark won.
Well, it's the oldest one in the book. I mean, Oliver Giroud has just walked off the pitch. That's where he would have been stood. And it's an out-swinging corner from Eriksen. Nielsen's got his head on it, but Eriksen, it's just a flick. Eriksen's kept running at the back post from the edge of the box, hoping that the flick is going to skid his way, and he ducks down and heads it into the roof of the net. Lloris, no chance. Set piece. 1-1. Game on.
And France concede for the second group game in succession. Andreas Christensen celebrates his 60th cap for his nation, and he kisses the badge in celebration too. And it's 1-1, and nobody saw that coming. Live on TalkSport with just over 20 minutes to go. And, well, it's a surprise, but the Danes, almost out of nothing, have got themselves level with their first attempt on target of the entire game.
Gone to sleep. I mean, just before the corner, they put two great balls across the face. Like, what's happened there? How have they got back in it so quick? They've just gone to sleep, France.
Well, there's a back heel by Koundé, finds Dembele. Dembele driving towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area, cutting in field, onto his left foot, not beyond Højbjerg. Well, it's so important for Denmark that they do get a result after Australia beat Tunisia earlier in the group. The Danes really can't afford to lose this, and there was less than 7 minutes between the two goals, 6 minutes 55 seconds to be exact. Mbappe opening the scoring, but Andreas Christensen with a headed equaliser. And there may not be too many Denmark fans who've made the trip to the Middle East, but they enjoyed that.
Well, it's probably the best chance of scoring from a set piece, because in general play they didn't look like anybody had a shot in them or get on the end of a cross, so shows how important set plays are.
Forward by Tchouameni up the middle, and chasing is Marcus Thuram. He looked like he tugged back Andersen there. Andersen gets a foot in, out of play for a French throw, deep inside opposition territory. Interesting change made by Deschamps after that goal to take off Giroud. Rabiot inside left channel, the ball takes a deflection, and that's a big call, a bellow from Kasper Schmeichel, the former Leicester goalkeeper. 11 seasons at Leicester, and he's there to gather. And Denmark, well, I think they'd take a point at this stage, Dean Saunders, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know it's a different level, but this is the dilemma I had. When I was manager of Wrexham, I had big Gareth Taylor playing up front for me, who's now the Man City ladies team manager. And when we were winning, he's 36 at the time, and I couldn't take him off because he's so important for us. Corners against. He stands in the near post and heads everything out of our box. So I couldn't take him off for that reason. So I think he's took Giroud off, he would have headed that ball out the box.
Here is Mbappe to Tchouameni, midway inside the Denmark half, out to the left, and Mbappe the goal scorer again. Thuram and Dembele in the middle. Mbappe onto his right foot, whips in the cross, too close to Schmeichel, and Thuram had darted to the far. Goalkeeper was able to gather. Less than 20 minutes to go now. France won, Denmark won. And it's developing into a really entertaining encounter, this. And remember, the Danes are going to, well, if they could get themselves in front, they'd potentially become the first side ever to beat France 3 times in a calendar year.
We've all got bogey teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was yours? Wycombe Wanderers.
Just about everybody, I think, Dean. Unfortunately. Here is Rasmus Christensen. No, Gareth Ainsworth, if he's listening, certainly won't like me saying that. Eriksen's on the halfway line for Denmark, whips the ball wide, crossfield the left, and Joachim Mæhle. Braithwaite is in the middle. Mæhle back to Eriksen now. Eriksen, the number 10, with a square pass to Højbjerg. They're going to bring on Kasper Dolberg, the big striker, in just a moment. Denmark with the blonde hair. And now Andersen on the halfway line, square to the goal scorer, Andreas Christensen. Now Victor Nelson at walking pace. France are sitting deep and not pressing until Denmark reach the middle third of their territory, Dean. What's the thinking?
Well, I think they're trying to catch him on the break, but Denmark... Eriksen's on the ball right now. He's got 4 defenders behind him, free as a bird, no pressure on him. Keep passing the ball to each other.
Mæhle setting up Damsgaard down the far side, the left, and it's Lindstrom! Good save by the goalkeeper, cleared away by Theo Hernandez. Corner to Denmark. What an opportunity! Saved by Lloris.
Well, they kept the ball and brilliantly got to the byline. Cut back, Lindstrom. There's your chance, son. Side foot finish, straight at the keeper. Great move.
Well, Damsgaard, who set the chance up, is going off the Brentford man. Here comes Kasper Dolberg, the Sevilla striker, who impressed at Euro 2020, is onto the field, the blonde-haired striker straight away. Eriksen will take another corner. It'll be another right-footed, out-swinging delivery, high into the 6-yard box, headed away by Varane. Comes back out to Rasmus Christensen. Eriksen calling for it on the near side of the field, infield towards Andersen. It's come back to Christian Eriksen. Eriksen from the edge of the box, onto his left foot, goes for goal, blocked by Tchouameni. And Eriksen now back to the halfway line, and the Danes look the more likely to get the third goal in this game all of a sudden and go on and win it.
There's a counter-attack on though, Joe. The Danes are pushing on. They've obviously got belief. They've beaten them twice this year. They're obviously thinking, here it goes, hat-trick. But there's some Olympic sprinters hanging around on the halfway line waiting for the counter-attack.
Well, France would now like to make a couple of changes themselves, and it's Varane who's going off, and here comes Ibrahima Konate, who started the opening game. And the second change for France sees Dembele leave the field, and that'll be a straight swap for Kingsley Coman. What do you make of those changes, Dean?
Well, again, more pace coming on. I think Varane has had a hamstring injury, and around about now on the hour or a bit longer, that's when your hamstring could go if it's not right, when your fatigue sets in. So he's took him off. Good move. Look who he's brought on. Konate, Liverpool centre half.
And Bayern Munich's Kingsley Coman.
That's not bad. Bayern Munich. Kingsley.
26 career trophies, Dean, for Coman, just to say. Not bad. He's on the fleet-footed winger with the orange boots, and Konate back into his regular position of central defence as Lloris clears long. 15 minutes to go on TalkSport with Argentina against Mexico. Full commentary to come, and the score is 1-1. Tchouameni has the ball. He's midway inside his own half, forward to Coman, and he plays it back to the feet of Konate, his first real touch. The last time France failed to win when scoring first in a World Cup game was that infamous final in 2006. That final of the Zinedine Zidane headbutt. Now the near side is Mbappe. Apparently there are 42,000 in here tonight. Not quite sure that's the case. Griezmann dribbling forward towards the edge of the box, and now an opportunity for Thuram, the striker, out wide to the near side at Mbappe. Mbappe twisting and turning, blocked off by Rasmus Christensen. Here comes a corner for France. Konate will come forward.
Denmark. Braithwaite's gone out on the left now instead of Damsgaard, and Dolberg's gone up the middle. Dolberg is a streak scorer. He can get 5 on the bounce and then not score for 10 games. He's got a goal in him.
Well, Mbappe was throwing his arms up into the air there, asking for a little bit more from the French supporters. Plenty up there for this corner kick, including Rabiot. Whipped in high towards Rabiot, headed away, drops down towards Kingsley Coman. He's 30 yards from goal, angles the pass wide to the right-hand channel, and Mbappe, couple of step-overs, left-footed cross. This time the head is thumped clear by Victor Nelson for Denmark. And Upamecano finds Koundé just inside Danish territory on that far side of the field. 14 to go now. Are we to see a winner? There's certainly enough quality on the field for either side. Mbappe, what's he up to here, Dean? He's sort of playing alongside Thuram at the moment.
France have got more special players, haven't they?
They do, you would say on paper, in the attacking positions. Rabiot, but you never know. Denmark have done it twice to them this year already. Coman down by the corner flag. He's heading for the dead ball line, but he's being tracked all the way by two in white, and one of them, Mæhle, gets a foot in, and Nelson's there to help out as well. They've worked really hard, the Danes, and they've found a way back into the match via a set piece. Here's Rabiot though for France, into the box. Rabiot crosses, and it's blocked by Andreas Christensen. And another French corner on the far side in front of their supporters.
Well, he's took Damsgaard off, and Braithwaite, he's over there now. He's not interested in defending either. They've just got knife through butter.
It's a common theme, it feels like.
Wingers.
Antoine Griezmann to take the corner.
Wingers don't like defending. You've got to tell them what their job is, or don't play them there in a game like this.
Left-footed in swinger in towards the near post, and it's headed wide. A diving header from inside the 18-yard box. Tchouaméni. And maybe there was a touch on it on its way through. A corner's been given to France. Must have taken a glancing blow, and it did. It hit Mæhle on the back. Otherwise it would have been on target and maybe into the net from Tchouaméni.
I mean, how lucky is that? Tchouaméni's coming in, diving header at the back post. Mæhle's just turned his back, don't know anything about it. It's hit him on the back, gone wide.
And this time it's going to be Griezmann's chance to deliver from the near side. A left-footed outswinger this time, flicked high to the far post and over everybody. It'll come back to Coman. Coman corner the area, swings in his delivery. Koundé's there. Koundé heads it down and wide. Another deflection on it, and another French corner. Suddenly with the score, 1-1 on TalkSport. 11 and a half to go. The roar of the French supporters, and Les Bleus are piling on the pressure in the World Cup.
You've got to feel sorry for Mæhle. Dembele's gone off.
It's torturous for him.
Coleman's come on. Kingsley is destroying him. He's only been on 5 minutes.
Is this where France make the breakthrough? Griezmann, it'll be left-footed and in swinging this time. In towards the 6-yard box, punched away by Kasper Schmeichel. Well brought down by Mbappe with his back to goal. Theo Hernandez to deliver this time. That's a great cross, and the spectacular overhead kick is over the top from Rabiot. Well, we saw a goal of utmost quality from Richarlison, a bicycle kick, a couple of days ago at this World Cup. Rabiot caught it well, a screamer, but high over the bar.
Oh, Rabiot. If that goes in, he's going down in history. The corner went out the back. Someone's retrieved it. I think it was Mbappe, whipped it back in. He's at the back post, and it's the ridiculous Gareth Bale in the Champions League final. It reminded me of. The ball was travelling that fast. He's connected, but it's hit his shin. That's why it's gone over.
Rabiot, who scored on match day 1. Dean Saunders, the former Wales striker, alongside me. The ball is with Joachim Andersen for Denmark, and France have had a really good spell since that double change from Didier Deschamps. The introduction of Coman seems to have inspired them a bit. They're one of those sides who, a little like Brazil, seemingly have endless attacking options, although Deschamps does have a continued reputation among fans and media as being too conservative at times in games. Didn't hurt when they won the World Cup. Dolberg for Denmark, playing in a low ball. It's hit wide by Braithwaite, racing in at the near post, and it hit the side netting. Dolberg after a slip from Upamecano. Braithwaite first. He beats the defender Koundé to it, and it's a foot wide. It might have kissed the post on its way wide too.
He's so unlucky. I can't criticise him at all. They picked the ball up. Dolberg has rolled down the right wing, and just without looking, just whipped the ball into the middle of the goal. And Braithwaite's read it, gets across the defender, near post, side foot tapping, and it's just hit the near post, the outside of the post. He's so unlucky.
Could hardly have come closer. Martin Braithwaite, who we mentioned earlier, had a tough time at Barcelona in La Liga, and he's in the Premier League with Middlesbrough as well. As Konate clears, the flick from Rabiot, header from Nelson, and the referee has spotted a foul here on Chouameni, who's gone down, shy of the halfway line. You can hear the reaction of the crowd. And in fact, it was actually Rabiot who collided with him, and it maybe less a head injury, more an arm injury for Chouameni. And here come the French medical staff, and it's 1-1 Dean Saunders.
He's kneed him in the bicep, I think. Like a dead arm. Hurts for a minute. Used to get him at school, remember?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Be alright in a few seconds.
There are French supporters bouncing up and down away to the left, enjoying themselves, but I mean, it's interesting, isn't it, Dean? England put 6 past Iran, unconvincing against the United States, and have we seen a similar pattern in France's first 2 games? Maybe. They were great against Australia, but I'm not sure they deserve to win this, actually, the way the game is going.
I think they need this game. As I said before the kick-off, the Australia game was too easy for them, and you don't learn anything as a manager, especially when you've not had a lot of preparation.
Well, Chouameni is back on his feet, and Denmark are back on the ball. Højbjerg crossfield from right to left, the far side. Mailer chests it down, midway into the France half. Braithwaite back towards Eriksen. Braithwaite has certainly looked more dangerous in the attack for Denmark than Cornelius ever did. Dolberg is the sort of focal point through the middle. Andreas Christensen, the goal scorer, finding Rasmus Christensen of Leeds on the near side of the field. Forward towards Lindstrom. Can he get beyond Upamecano? Upamecano holds the ball up and shepherds it out of play and behind for a goal kick. We are in the 83rd minute. We've just had 83 minutes, in fact. And the scores are still level. And there's still plenty of time for either side to find a winner. But as it stands, France will drop group stage points for a 12th major tournament in a row. It's not necessarily always done at blistering pace for the French early on. They don't necessarily make it easy for themselves at times. Argentina against Mexico in Group C. What a game in prospect at the Lusail Stadium to come on Talk Sport. Kick-off at 7 o'clock, so in about an hour and 15 minutes. And we'll bring you team news as soon as we have it, of course. Live in the stadium tonight. Here is Rasmus Christensen. Near side for Denmark, skips one way and then the other, then he delivers, it thunders off the head of Theo Hernandez, drops towards the edge of the penalty area, only as far as Eriksen, let it run for Højbjerg, who shoots low and he drags it wide, and shooting towards his club teammate Hugo Lloris, but not finding the target. And there's another change coming up for Denmark here, and it's Jesper Lindstrom who is going to leave the field, and it's another Brentford player, Christian Norgard, who's going to come on.
I'm surprised Natalie Sawyer's not come to the game tonight. Half of Brentford are here. He could have scored a goal, Lindstrom. He's hit a great cross across the face. Apart from that, it was the wrong tool for the wrong job for him tonight. You know, his job today should have been just keeping the wide players quiet, helping his full-back. But I have to say, Giroud's gone off. Since France scored, the tide's turned. And Denmark are looking more likely to score than France.
Well, I did think, Dean, he was clearly planning to bring Thuram on before Mbappe scored, but then he went on with the substitution anyway, and to me, with an hour gone, only at 1-0, that was a strange decision from Deschamps. Here is Coman, played in down the right-hand side, looking up, thinking about a cross, instead holds on to the ball. It's back with Griezmann to deliver. Mbappe has bundled it in! 2 for Kylian Mbappe! He might just have won this game for France! He leaps over the advertising hoardings to celebrate with the supporters. Kylian Mbappe, France's MVP, with another goal at the World Cup. And it's France 2, Denmark 1. Mbappe has rescued them, and they are heading through to the knockout stages, surely.
Mbappe's got the goal, but Coleman's made it. I mean, he's walking back to the halfway lane on his own. They're all celebrating with Mbappe, but Coleman's made the goal. Since he's come on, he's been electric, and his run for the goal is what you teach wingers to do. The right back's got the ball. He's gone towards him 2 yards as if to say, give it to my feet, and he's spun. The right back's dinged it over Mailer's head, and he's in on goal. Hits it across the face, and Mbappe reads it. Don't know whether it was offside.
Well,
I don't think so.
Slight suspicion as Griezmann delivered high to the far post. It's Mbappe's touch off his thigh. Great finish that, Dean. Under pressure from Rasmus Christensen. There was just a slight suspicion of offside, but the goal stands. France 2, Denmark 1 on Talk Sports. 3.5 minutes to go. Kylian Mbappe now, I'm losing count, Dean, I'm going to have to think about this. 14 goals in 12 internationals, and yet another goal at the World Cup. Already up to 3 for the tournament, so that's only one off his tally of Russia 2018. What a remarkable talent.
It helps when you're the manager and you're just thinking, I don't know what to do here, and then he just goes.
Well, it's always a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's nearly on the goal line when he puts it in with his thigh, but he's so athletic.
Denmark will come again. Rasmus Christensen's cross is, well, it took a deflection off Theo Hernandez and actually fell, rather thankfully for Lloris, into his chest. Argentina against Mexico next. Lionel Messi really needs a win at the Lusail Stadium. Full commentary on Talk Sport, and Mexico needs something from that game as well, having started with just a point. Rabiot runs into Norgard and Denmark have it back, and now they've got to push forward. Rasmus Christensen wins a throw off Adrien Rabiot. And it's moments in matches like this, France have not played particularly well, but Mbappe is just head and shoulders above so many at this World Cup. Here is Mæhle, far side for Denmark left, back to Nelson. And Norgard takes up a position in the centre, finding Eriksen midway inside French territory. The French with their dark blue shirts on, almost everybody back behind the ball here. It's at the feet of Anderson now, forward to Norgard. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg looks up, Dolberg and Braithwaite in the middle, and Norgard has made a run the inside right channel, back to Rasmus Christensen, level with the edge of the box. Anderson takes up a shot and it's blocked initially by one man, and then Coman carries away the ball. Mbappe's calling for it in acres of space on the left hand side, but Coman didn't look up, he didn't see him until it was too late.
No, he's kept the ball though, and they've gone to sleep again, France. Score a goal, go to sleep.
Lovely skill, lovely feet from Mbappe. A couple of step overs beyond Rasmus Christensen and then back to the halfway line. It's all about Kylian Mbappe, who has overtaken Just Fontaine and Jean-Pierre Papin with his double today, and more illustrious names that Mbappe drifts beyond. He's alongside Zinedine Zidane, joint 7th in France's all-time scoring record with 31, and he's still only 23 years of age.
What's Jean-Pierre Papin on, Joe? Have you got that down there?
Well, he's just overtaken Fontaine and Papin, so if Mbappe is now on 31, you would think Papin and Fontaine were on 30, or there or thereabouts. So he's on 31, Dean. I wonder how many he can get, Mbappe.
Oh,
double that?
Endless. He scored 2 tap-ins today, but he scores all types of goals.
Well, it was a great finish at the far post, wasn't it? Quite an athletic leap beyond Rasmus Christensen.
Coman's done all the damage. I mean, it does help when you bring in Barcelona player on and you bring in Liverpool centre-half on.
It's an embarrassment of riches for Didier Deschamps. Alexander Barr, who is an attacking right-sided player, is going to come on for Denmark in a moment, and France want to make a change as well as we go into stoppage time. 6 added minutes on Talk Sport. France 2, Denmark 1. Eriksen crosses high from the left. It should be easy for Theo Hernandez, who lets it run across his body before smacking it clear high up into the air. Mbappe, you'd back him to beat Anderson for pace. Mbappe is clear on goal. He shoots early, and it's straight at the goalkeeper Schmeichel. Wasteful from Mbappe on that occasion, at least.
That's ridiculous pace. I mean,
he made that look so easy. Anderson was about 10 yards behind him when he shot.
He's given him 10-yard start in a 20-yard race and beat him to the ball. And he's tried a volley, you know, like a paintbrush technique volley to dip over the keeper. He's got it on target. What a goal that would have been. What a hat-trick.
He is on a hat-trick.
Just lightning quick.
Mbappe is indispensable to France as they look to try and win the World Cup again. The ball is with Dolberg though for Denmark, trying to knock it down the left-hand side towards Mæhle. Dolberg cuts infield, it's come to Eriksen. Braithwaite, little flick back to goal, clever flick. Nobody in red and white had read it though, and nobody made a move to the edge of the box. France want to bring on Youssouf Fofana. And as I say, Denmark ready to get Alexander Barr into the game. 90 seconds into second half stoppage time with the score 2-1 to France. And I think the French will go first. In fact, no, it's the Danes. Rasmus Christensen coming off, and as you'd expect, Barr his orthodox replacement.
So in the big picture, Joe, Denmark are in desperate trouble now to qualify.
Yep. 1 point from 2, Dean. Australia have got 3, remember. Denmark still have to play Australia in the group, but looks tough for them now. Griezmann coming off and Fofana coming on, and France heading through, remember. Well,
I have to say, I've just seen a replay of the goal. He's offside.
Well, it's interesting. It was very close, wasn't it? And so you think he's just off, Dean?
Well, I don't know. His shoulder, his arm was definitely the wrong side of the line, but I don't know. It's like on his armpit. But they've just showed it, and looks offside to me.
Well, Denmark are behind, France are ahead. 2.5 minutes into 6 added, and it's getting into the last chance saloon for Denmark. A few empty blue seats starting to appear now as some of the fans head away into the very warm evening. But stay with Talk Sport. Everybody back at home. We'll bring you Argentina against Mexico. We'll have the best seat in the house for that. Andreas Christensen wide to the near side, and Barr. They've sent quite a few forward here now, Denmark. They have to. Norgard to the halfway line, and Joachim Andersen halfway through stoppage time. The ball is with Eriksson on halfway. Eriksson square to Andreas Christensen, and Denmark a bit laboured here. France with everybody back behind the ball. Andreas Christensen once again playing it square now to Norgard. Norgard with the orange boots on, out to the left-hand channel. Joachim Mæhle back to Victor Nelson. Only Dolberg anywhere near the penalty area though for Denmark. He's on the edge of it too. Norgard trying to dribble forward, out to the left with the angled ball, and Mæhle. France not diving in, not overcommitting, just keeping everybody back in a defensive position. Deschamps is sitting in his position in the dugout, hasn't come to the edge of the technical area. Here is Alexander Barr, crossing position here for Denmark, looks up, skips in field away from Hernandez. Eriksson back heel, intercepted, only half cleared. Barr crosses, it'll be hammered away by Rabiot. High downfield for Thuram to chase. Marcus Thuram has only got a couple of defenders between him and the goal, and Mbappe and Coman are steaming forward in support. Thuram has it down by the corner of the penalty area. The angle is very tight, and he still has the ball. He's squeezed between 3 in white, lays it back to Mbappe on a hat-trick. Denmark clear, only as far as Fofana. Square pass to Chouameni, 25 yards out. They do well to just hold on to the ball here, France. 4.5 minutes into 6 added. If they keep possession, they'll win this game 2-1, Dean Saunders.
But they've invited pressure on themselves there, and I thought it was going to be a penalty for a minute. If you're inviting people to come in your box, bad things happen.
Well, Denmark look knackered here, Dean. No press on France. They're just holding on to it, the French. And it's a lovely bit of skill by Coman to skip in field. He looks really dangerous here. Couple of step overs, angled tight, pulls it back across. Cleared away by Denmark. A minute to go. Forward high towards Dolberg, who chests it down. Rabiot in the way, sends it back to Theo Hernandez. And he's just been told by Hugo Lloris to calm things down a bit.
Dolberg, first touch of the ball, welcome to the game. He's been on 20 minutes, touched the ball once.
Mbappe caught by Barr. You heard that loud cry from Kylian Mbappe, and that will be a free kick to France, shy of halfway. And that should be job done, Dean. Would you say it's been convincing, or do you think really they've had to rely on the brilliance of their number 10?
Well, we've got a bit of controversy now. I mean, if that's right, what I've just seen on the screen, the reason VAR is in the building is that you don't get knocked out of the World Cup on a bad decision. If they get knocked out on that decision,
well, they will live to fight at least one more day, Denmark. The Barr in the right back position. We have just about had the 6 added minutes. We play on here at Stadium 974. France supporters, the whistles. And the referee, though, hasn't obliged for them yet. Eriksson, very deep, inside his own half. High ball pinged downfield. Barr will chase it. flicked away by Theo Hernandez, and it's out of play for a throw right by the corner flag. They might as well send everybody forward. There's barely enough time for Denmark to take this one. Everybody's up there bar Kasper Schmeichel, and Alexander Barr is going to hurl this one in long. 2-1 to France. Is there time for late drama on Talk Sport? Barr with a high throw up towards Nelson. It's headed away, comes out to Mailer, well over the top on the half volley.
What are you doing? Been reading too many comics. I mean, the ball's long throw into the box, it gets headed out, he's about 35 yards out, and the ball's bouncing chest high, and he's tried a side volley.
Well, weaker side too.
Bad decision on his bad foot, yeah.
France though are nearly there. Didier Deschamps down below us in his dark blue suit. Quick word with the fourth official. The full-time whistle blows. France are through to the knockout stages of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, and the holders are showing signs that they can retain their trophy again. They're wanting to become the first side to do that since Brazil in 1962. A double fist pump from Didier Deschamps as the France bench celebrates. But for the French, the first job in their quest is complete. They've beaten Denmark here by 2-1. Kylian Mbappe has now scored 50 for club and country in 2022. Just the second France player to score in 3 successive World Cup games after Just Fontaine did it in the late 50s, and ultimately his contribution was the key. He opened the scoring and he won the game for France late on with just 4 minutes left after a great cross from sub Kingsley Coman. Sandwiched in between that, Andreas Christensen had headed Denmark level, but once again they lack quality in their forward line, and it's just 1 point from 2 games for the Danes so far. But France are the first side through to the knockout stages. It finishes on Talk Sport. France 2, Denmark 1.